All right, welcome back. Whitlock and Wiley, Mark Slareth is back, and we're joined now by Fox Sports Radio host Doug Gottlieb. Big thanks to the XFL for giving us some new gear. They unveiled the new team names and logos this week. Marcel, like you got a new LA team to support?
That's right, man. And first of all, I got to give shout out to the XFL president, Jeffrey Pollock, my dog, you know who it is, and Heather Carrots. That's my friend, who's also the president of the LA Wildcats. Football.
All right, let's return to the NFL.
Love it.
And the New York Giants, who got another solid performance out of rookie quarterback Daniel Jones last night, with the young QB going 9 of 11 for 141 yards against the Bengals. The team took a ton of heat for drafting the unheralded Jones at number 6 overall, but head coach Pat Shurmur says he's never doubted the young quarterback's abilities.
Ever.
Ball's not on the ground much with him. I mean, is that what you think he is going to be eventually?
That's what we thought he was when we drafted him. It's fun. About every 6 or 7 days now, I've been able to tell you that's what we saw when we drafted him. So I think he just has a feel for playing the position, and he's getting, he's steadily getting better every time he takes the field, whether it's practice or games. And so that's what you're looking for from a young player, and certainly a guy as talented as Daniel is. Like I said, you can ask me all you want about why I like him. I think it's time to start asking the people that didn't like him what they think.
He's a little early here, in my opinion. Tone it down. I wouldn't be taking these shots. You like what he's doing?
Love it. Channeling his inner Rick Ross. I'm the boss. He out here like, I told y'all. And y'all wanted to doubt me? First of all, I came here after I met Daniel Jones. I remember telling you, but you were, everybody's caught up in the mob mentality of booing him.
I wasn't booing him, but go ahead.
No, you didn't boo him, but everybody was skeptical. And I'm like, wait a minute. Okay, I understand the Duke numbers. I understand the win-loss column. But can we look at the skill set? Tall, not huge, but bigger than Eli, and can move around that football field with an arm. From the same cloth as Peyton and Eli Manning in terms of tutelage, and now he's just going out there and just being the best passer in preseason. I understand it's preseason, but judge a man by the distance traveled from where people booing him to now, the guy's showing up.
Listen, only thing, before you jump in, Doug or Mark, my position the whole time was, hey, quit acting like you're embarrassed you took him. Because Pat Shurmur and them initially were making all kinds of excuses. I was like, no, stand on your decision. And so now now that Daniel Jones has done a few things in the preseason, he wants to pound his chest. He should have been pounding his chest on draft day.
He was shook then, though, huh?
Yes. And so I don't like this because, one, it is just preseason. I'd pump the brakes a little bit.
Yeah, I'll tell you this. When Dave Gettleman came out, who was their general manager that drafted Daniel Jones, I hated that press conference. Yeah. I hated it for the kid because he was making excuses. Well, we had great intel that Washington was going to take him anyhow, so we want to jump up and take him. And I'm like, pound your chest then and say, man, we evaluated this kid. This kid is the boss at quarterback. He is going to be great. He's going to be great. Why? I mean, stand up for your pick. Don't make the excuses of why you took him. I will say this about the critics, man. Critics, being a critic is easy, right? Mm-hmm. Right. Criticism is easy. Decisions are hard. They made a decision. He's playing really good right now. It is the preseason, but I think they brought a ton of the criticism, not all of it, but a ton of the criticism on themselves because they didn't stand up from the beginning and say, this is our guy. We targeted him from day one. The Browns, just look at just a year earlier, the Browns came up and shocked everybody when they went and got Baker Mayfield. But what did John Dorsey come out? My guy, this guy's got onions. We were on him from day one. There's no way we trade down. Guess what? It's the narrative that you create.
I couldn't agree with you guys more, right? This is a New York Giants front office narrative and PR issue more so than a Daniel Jones issue, right? I mean, look, last year they did well in the draft. I thought they should have taken Sam Darnold, right? Not just because he was the best quarterback prospect and still there and they needed a quarterback, but also because now the Jets have him in their same building and they would have forever ruined the Jets, who probably would have drafted Josh Allen, who's not as good, not as accurate. I don't just like the pick because he's played well. I like the pick because there's some logic to it, right? You got to be careful with this Eli thing. Last time they tried to bench Eli, everybody got fired. Everybody.
All y'all.
Okay? So now you get a guy who's from the Cutcliffe cloth.
Yep.
Now you get so Cutcliffe can tell Eli, look, he's a great kid. He's got some room to go. He can talk to the kid and say, look, you got to walk slowly and quietly and learn from Eli. And when it's time, everybody will know that it's time. And so is it surprising how well he's played? Sure, but he's played against the 2s, the 3s, and frankly, the 4s. But he's played well. He's looked like a 6th pick of the first round. And I don't mind them sticking out their chest, but the problem is this Giants front office and this Giants coaching staff says silly stuff instead of saying what they think, thinking what they say, and just standing by.
Well, there's a lack of consistency. And again, this is why I don't like it. If I'm Pat Shurmur, I'm just telling you, his play is doing all the talking. Pat Shurmur needs to add nothing to it. Just let the kid go out there and play, and it speaks for itself. But then Pat Shurmur has seemingly reversed course. I've said it all along. Daniel, when it's time to play, he's going to be ready. We're going to continue to get him ready, and we have a couple of weeks left before we play Dallas. That sounds like he's opened the door for the kid potentially week 1.
Let me clarify, and let's bring this all together and consolidate. Pat Shurmur is not David Gettleman. So this whole narrative, y'all, we can't judge him based on what they did. And if one is my boss, it runs downhill. So therefore, I didn't correct him. But now, what's happening is Daniel Jones has corrected everything in terms of this narrative in the preseason, which I understand. You always tell me, Stink, what? It doesn't count.
It doesn't count, but it does matter.
It matters, right? So you just can't roll out of bed and get in the preseason. I don't care who you're playing against and just ball, be the best passer, unless you got something there, right? So if I'm Pat Shurmur, I do floss. I do flex. I do instill that confidence in him because why not? I'm not playing this guy more than likely this year. And MC Breed said it. Ain't no future in your fronting. Guess what? There's a future in him fronting right now for him because he's not going to go out there and have to deal with these bullets. Eli is the starter for this team. Eli will be the guy that has to go out there and deal with this. So
we're going to continue to get him ready, and we have a couple of weeks left before we play Dallas.
Right.
He's not playing against Dallas.
Are you kidding me? They already went on record and said Eli's our starter week 1. Get him ready. Get him ready so he can be prepared to be the backup. You think he's going to be the starter?
Well, I'm just, to me, he's left the door open, slightly ajar.
I don't.
A guy pumping his chest like that?
Yeah.
Again, the media, as soon as Eli throws 3 straight incompletions, the media will say, hey,
oh, yeah.
Daniel Jones.
Oh, yeah. We know that.
Look, but the owner, John Mara, came out and said we're going to redshirt him. Dave Gettleman came out and said we're going to redshirt him.
Yep.
And Pat Shurmur's come out and saying that that's the plan. I do think we're reading it, I think, and feeling it and listening to it, it's a little bit different. There's 2 types of backup quarterbacks. Either a guy who's got to be ready for that or a guy who's simply going to get the starter ready. And I think he's obviously a guy who's got to be ready in case that opportunity comes. Eli doesn't get hurt, and we're just waiting to see if Eli has a season like the way Peyton had.
There's not a lot of independent thinkers in the NFL. There's a lot of groupthink. And you know what's happened? Everybody's drafted these quarterbacks and said, hey, we're going to sit them, and then they all play them. Whether it's Bortles or whoever else it is,
but
right?
Bortles tore it up in the preseason, did he not?
Right. Yeah. But here's the deal. Here's the difference. Andy Reid had the wherewithal and the courage and the onions to sit Mahomes, even though Mahomes was exceptionally talented. Now, he had a great quarterback in Alex Smith, or a really good quarterback. He let him sit for the entirety of the year. And you know what now? Like I said, there's a lot of groupthink that goes on. All the other general managers are going, wow, look at that. It's a great way to develop a quarterback, right? Now, all of a sudden, everybody goes, hey, maybe we can do that. So you've got Drew Lock in Denver. You've got, Daniel Jones here with Eli in the Giants. Like, there's a lot of teams, and I've talked to general managers who think this way as far as developing their guys now as opposed to baptism by fire like it was for years.
Yes, but you have Goff and Trubisky who had awful first years, and look at how they bounced back. So, while you're right.
Right.
And this,
I'm just saying, because of what happened with Mahomes, now everybody thinks, okay, that's the way to do it, and they're all going to jump on that bandwagon if they can, if they're in that position.
All right, Darnell, what's cracking out there?
Yeah, so after Daniel Jones lit it up on the field, the media just couldn't get enough of him. New York sports reporter Tom Rock posted this picture of Jones in the locker room.
That's amazing.
If you zoom in just a little bit, you'll notice another player next to Jones tying his shoes right there. I want to ask you guys, do you feel sorry for Eli?
That shirt.
Let me add some clarity.
Yeah. Oh, don't mess up the good story with fat.
Come on, man.
Let's get our jokes off.
There was another picture taken where the crowd was all around Eli.
Say that at the end.
Eli was talking. But do I feel sorry?
Yeah.
Yeah, this picture may live in infamy.
Man,
That's worse than sad Eli face, right?
that's the worst. Yeah, you had to be an adult right now, huh?
I'm just,
Oh, but
I want to be fair.
Are you getting ready? This is it right here.
Get me here. No, well.
Don't pay any attention to me. Nobody ever knows.
That's not Eli. Eli is so confident, walks around with so much swag that we can't even read it. One, your last name is Manning. Two, I got 2 Super Bowl MVPs. And 3, which is most important to me, he's made the second most amount of money in NFL history behind only one man, and that's his brother. So guess what? Y'all think I give a damn if y'all gonna come up to me and ask me them same questions I've been here for 15 years? Get out my face.
He's stuffed in like a temporary locker. You know, getting the,
He doesn't even have a name tag. Look at it.
getting the south end of a northbound bull there, right? He's got the bad end of some reporters. No,
This is
thank you.
pretty much, other than winning those 2 Super Bowls, this is kind of what it's like being Peyton Manning's little brother.
Whoa.
In that shadow.
What I tell you about comedy, it's not funny if it's a bullseye. That was a bullseye, so that's not funny. But that hurt a little bit. That hurt a little bit.
Coming up, Carly Lloyd says she's getting inquiries from NFL teams after her 55-yard field goal. But will we ever actually see a woman play in the NFL? Darnell's question of the day. Hurts!